here we got a play test of Cloud, Aang and Katara, Leo the Balance, and Raph the Muscle. These two being partners. The starting hands are, we've got Aang with Plains, Thriving Grove, Plains, Brought Back, Force of Negation, North Pole Gates, Katara. With Cloud, we've got Master's And, Gone, Veil 4, Kamari, Ardbert, Spire's Headquarters Island. And for Leonardo, we've got Thriving More, Mutant Chain Reaction, Novel Nunchaku, Mountain, Donatello, Plains, and Leatherhead. Aang and Katara won the roll-off, so they'll draw into a forest. And then they're going to play North Pole Gate. It comes into play tapped. And they will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into the Gold Saucer. They're going to play Spara's Headquarters. It comes into play tapped. And we will pass to Leonardo, who will draw into Raphael. We're going to play a Thriving More. It's going to enter tapped. We're going to add black, or let's choose green. And we will pass the turn to Aang and Katara, who will draw into Abandoned Air Temple. We're going to play a Thriving Grove. It'll give us green, or let's choose blue, and it'll come into play tapped. And we will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into to the Crystal Tower. We will play Gone, Town of Ruin, comes into play tapped. And we will pass the turn to Leonardo, who will draw into a Plains. We are going to play a Mountain. Still no turn 2, so we will pass the turn to Aang and Katara, who will draw into Energy Bending. We're going to play a Plains. Then we're going to tap 3 lands, 1 for a blue, and 2 others to cast Katara, Bending Prodigy. And we will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into Crossroads Village. We are going to play an island. We will tap for a white, a black, and a whatever. And we will cast Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. I will also put out their life totals. So we will pass the turn and go to Leonardo, who will draw into Mikey and Dawn. We are going to play a Plains. Then we're going to tap 3, the Thriving More for a green, and play Novel Nunchaku. Then we will pass the turn to Aang and Katara, who will draw into Boomerang Basics. We're going to play an Abandoned Air Temple, so we control a basic land, so it doesn't come into play tapped. And we're going to tap 2. And we're going to play Energy Bending. So our lands gain all basic land types. That's not really going to help us, but we will be able to draw a card. So we're going to draw into Cloud Shift. We're going to go to attacks. We will attack Cloud with Katara. Cloud would declare no blocks and will take 2 damage from Katara. At the beginning of the end step, because Katara is tapped, we're going to put a +1 counter on her. Then we will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into Waka. Cloud is going to play the Gold Saucer. Then we're going to tap 4 of our lands, 1 being a blue, 1 being a green. And we're going to cast Kamari, Valiant Guardian. Because we're casting a white spell. Oh, no, we're not. That's the other spell. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I was thinking of casting Waka, but we're going to do that next turn. So at the beginning of combat, let's go to combat. At the beginning of combat, we get to put a +1 counter on Kamari and tap target creature an opponent controls. Then we could have Kamari become a copy of that creature, except its name is Kamari and it adds vigilance and this ability. So Kamari's become a copy of Katara. That's for the turn. Oh, no, I guess he becomes a copy for good, but he has that ability. Okay, so we're going to tap Ardbert, and we're going to attack Aang and Katara for 2. And they've got no blockers, so we'll do 2 damage. We will go to our end step. Kamari as Katara won't matter because he's not tapped for anything right now. So we will pass the turn to Leonardo, who will draw into Raph and Mikey. Leonardo will play Plains, and then we'll tap 4 lands, one being white, for Leonardo the Balance. We will then pass the turn to Aang and Katara, who will untap, upkeep, and draw into Water Bending Lesson. We're going to play a forest, and we're severely lacking creatures in our hand right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to tap a blue and 3 others, and we're going to cast Water Bending Lesson. So we draw 3 cards, then discard a card unless you water bend 2. So I think we're going to water bend using Katara and our last land. So we will draw into Forest, the Boy in the Iceberg, and an island. At the end of our turn, Katara is tapped, so she'll get a +1 counter. And we've got 8 cards in hand, so we'll discard a forest. We will then pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into Phantom Train. We're going to play Crossroads Village. It enters tapped, and we're going to choose red for its color. Then we're going to tap 4 lands, one being a white and one being a green. So white from Spear's Headquarters, green from Gone. And we will cast Waka, Devoted Guardian. So whenever we cast he's white and green, whenever we cast a white spell, we get to put a +1 counter on each legendary creature we control, and they gain vigilance till end of turn. I think we're going to go to combat. We're going to have Kamari become a copy of Leonardo the Balance, and we'll put a +1 counter on him. And we're going to tap Leonardo. We will go to the attacks, and right now Kamari and Aldebert have vigilance till end of turn. So we will attack with, let's have Aldebert attack Aang and Katara, and we'll have Kamari attack Leonardo. So 6 for Leonardo and 3 damage for Katara. We'll go to the end step. No counters were put on Waka, so nothing happens. We will pass the turn to Leonardo, who will draw into Raphael, Tough Turtle. I think we're going to tap 3, and we're going to attach the nunchucks to Leonardo. Then we'll go to combat, and we're going to attack Cloud with Leonardo for 4. We could block with Waka, but we don't want to lose Waka. Not yet. So Cloud is going to take the 4 commander damage. We'll pass the turn to Aang and Katara, who will draw into Waterbender Ascension. We're going to play an island. Then we're going to tap 2 to play the Waterbender's Ascension. Then we're going to tap 4 to Waterbend 4. And we'll say Katara for the Waterbender Ascension. And and we'll say Katara can't be blocked this turn, and she will attack Cloud for 4. Because combat damage was done, we're going to put a quest counter on Waterbender Ascension. And we'll go to the end step, and we will put a +1 counter on Katara because she is tapped. We will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into Primal Odin. So we're going to go to attacks. I think we're going to go all out, tap everybody. We will, so at the beginning of combat, Kamari is going to become a copy of, let's say, Katara. So he's a 2/3 with 3 +1 counters on him. We are going to attack Aang and Katara with Kamari. We'll attack Leonardo with Waka. And we'll attack Aang and Katara with Ardbert. There are no blocks on either side, so Leonardo will take 4. Actually, you know what? We'll attack Aang and Katara with Waka and Ardbert and attack Leonardo with Kamari. So Katara is going to take 7 altogether. Leonardo will take 5. Whenever Waka deals combat damage to a player, we're going to destroy up to 1 target artifact that player controls. And, oh shoot, I guess we should have attacked Leonardo with him. Darn it. Okay, well, whatever. And we get to put a +1 counter on him, so we'll put a +1 counter on him. Then I think we will tap 4 lands, 1 being a blue. And we're going to cast Veil 4. So when it comes in, we're going to hit our first chapter that says each opponent chooses a creature with the greatest mana value among creatures they control and return those creatures to their owner's hands. So Aang and Katara only have 1 creature, and so does Leonardo, so they're going back to their owner hands. So let's go to the end step. We got 2 triggers. So at the beginning of the end step, Kamari is a copy of Katara, so he's tapped, so he's going to get a +1 counter. And then Waka's beginning of end step says if a counter was put on Waka this turn, we get to put a +1 counter on each other creature we control. So Kamari will actually get 2, Ardbert will get 1. Then we will pass the turn to Leonardo and draw into a forest. We're going to play that forest. Then we're going to tap 3, 1 being a green. And we're going to play Mutant Chain Reaction. So we're going to destroy up to 1 enchantment. So we're going to destroy Veil 4. And we're going to create a mutagen. Then we're going to tap a red and whatever. And we're going to bring out Raphael, Tough Turtle. Then I think we'll be passing the turn to Aang and Katara, who will draw into Worldly Tutor. We're going to play a Plains. And we're going to tap 1 green. And we're going to play Worldly Tutor. So we're going to search our library for a creature card, reveal it, then shuffle, put the card on top. We're going to look for Katara the Fearless, and we're going to put this on top of our library. I think we're going to play or tap an island for a blue, and we're going to cast Boomerang Basics. So we're going to return our Waterbending Ascension to our hand, and we're going to draw a card. Then we're going to tap a white, blue, green. And the card we drew into is Katara, surprise, surprise. So we'll be tapping that white, blue, green to cast Katara the Fearless. Then we will pass the turn to Cloud, who will draw into the World Tree. So we're going to play the World Tree. It comes into play tapped. And now that we have 6 lands or more, lands we have tap for 1 mana of any color. So we're going to tap 4 lands, all for blue. And we're going to cast to the Crystal Tower, choosing 2. So we're going to tap all creatures our opponents control, and we're going to draw a card. We will be drawing into a swamp. And then let's tap at the beginning of combat. Let's tap either way, we're not going to get we don't have allies, so that's not going to work. We're not bringing anything else, so that's not going to work for Raph. Oh, it says you may have Kamari become a copy. Let's just keep Kamari as Katara. The Katara we were before. So I think this time around we're going to attack. We're going to attack Aang and Katara with Kamari. So that'll be for 6. And we're going to attack Leonardo with Ardbert and Waka. That'll be for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh. So when Waka attacks Leonardo now, when he deals damage to the player, we're going to destroy up to 1 target artifact. So we're going to destroy the 1 artifact. Well, he's got 2. He's got Mutagen and the Novel Nunchuck. Let's get rid of the Nunchuck because it gives +1, but it also gives Trample. And then we get to put a +1 counter on Waka. Then we're going to go to the end step. So at the beginning of the end step, Kamari's a copy of Katara, Bending Prodigy still, because we didn't have him become a copy of another creature. And that's also why he didn't get Vigilance. So he's going to get a +1 counter for being tapped. And then Waka at the beginning of end step will go off. A +1 counter was put on him, so we'll put a +1 counter on each other creature we control. So I think we're going to be passing the turn to Leonardo, who will draw into Rain-Slicked Copse. And we're going to play that. Comes into play tapped. I think we're going to tap for 4, 2 of them being a green. And we're going to cast Mikey and Dawn, Party Planners. So we get to look at the top card of our library. It's a land. We could have played it, but we already played our land on our turn. So, whenever another creature enters, Raph deals 1 damage to target opponent. Let's deal that damage to Cloud. I think we're going to pay 1 to crack our Mutagen and put a +1 counter on Raph, Tough Turtle. We're going to go to combat. We're going to tap Raph, and we're going to attack Cloud. Cloud has no blockers, and we'll take 2. Then we'll go to the end step. And Aang and Katara will draw into Dramatic Reversal. We're going to play Boy in the Iceberg. So it comes into play with 10 ice counters. We are going to tap 3, 1 being a blue. And we will cast Katara, Bending Prodigy. Then we're going to tap 4. And we're going to tap both Kataras to Waterbend 6 for Katara's for her water bending ability. And we're going to draw a card. We are going to draw into Flopsy, Boomy's buddy. We will go to the end step. Bending Prodigy will put. She's tapped, so she gets to put a +1 counter on her at the beginning of the end step. But because she is an ally, that ability will trigger twice. because the Fearless says if a triggered ability of an ally you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. So we will go to Cloud's turn, who will untap, upkeep, draw into the Wind Crystal. We're going to tap 4, and we will play the Wind Crystal. Aang and Katara is going to say, whoa, hold on there. And they're going to play Force of Negation. So it's not Aang and Katara's turn, and we can exile a blue card from our hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. So we're going to exile Dramatic Reversal. And we're going to counter target non-creature spell, so we're going to counter the Wind Crystal. And because it's countered, we're going to exile it instead of putting it in the graveyard. Rats. Okay, so Cloud will tap 3 mana, all red. And I think we're going to bring in Cloud. We're going to go to combat. I think Kamari, at the beginning of combat, we're going to put a +1 counter on Kamari and tap target creature an opponent controls. Let's tap Mikey and Don. And then you may have Kamari become a copy. We won't. We'll keep him as Katara. So he won't get Vigilance. Oh, yeah, he has Vigilance. Oh, well, nuts. I guess he wouldn't have gotten those counters earlier. Well, crap. You know what? We're going to take away 2 counters from Kamari as punishment. I misread that one. Okay, so let's go to attacks. Let's have Kamari attack. Kamari's an 8 now. Waka's a 6. Ardbert's a 5. Let's have Ardbert and Waka attack Aang and Katara, and we'll have Kamari attack Leonardo. So 8 against Leonardo, and 11 altogether against Katara. They have no blockers, so on damage, Waka gets a +1 counter, and it gets to destroy an artifact, which nobody has. So let's go to the end step, and because Waka put a +1 counter on himself, we get to put a +1 counter on each other creature we control. Then we will pass the turn to Leonardo, who will draw into an island. Let's look at the top card of our library because of Mikey and Don. It's a Plains. So let's play that Plains for our land. And we'll look at the top card again. And it's Under City Sewers, another land. Well, that's not going to help us. So we're going to tap 7 lands. 1 being a green, 1 being a red. And we're in trouble here, so... Oops, I forgot. Waka and Audibert should be tapped. We're kind of in trouble here. So we're going to cast Raph and Mikey, Troublemakers. They got Trample and Haste. When they enter, Tough Turtle triggers and we'll do 1 damage to target opponent. I know we're going to lose Raph, but I think we should still, well, we're just gonna kick the bucket anyways. Unless we block, but they seem to be able to tap down at least one of our creatures. So let's go all out. We're going to attack with everybody against Cloud. On attack, Raph and Mikey reveal cards from the top of our library until we reveal a creature card. So Under City, nope. Michelangelo's Technique, nope. 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 Where are all our creatures? Oh, Michelangelo, Mutant BFF. So when he enters or attacks, we create a mutagen. So we'll create a mutagen on him entering. From my understanding, he's entering, tapped, and attacking. So we're not attacking with him, so we don't get to... I mean, we didn't tap him to attack, so we don't get to create a mutagen. But because he entered, Raphael Tough Turtle will trigger again, and will deal 1 damage to Cloud. Well, it appears to me I forgot Cloud's trigger when I attacked with Kamari, Ardbert, and Waka. They were warriors. I should have created 3 tapped tokens. So I didn't. It's a May ability, so it didn't happen. But we'll remember for next time. I think Cloud's got this one anyway. Kamari's going to block Raph and Mikey. Kamari's a 9/9 right now, so that'll get rid of them. But we'll take the rest of the damage, which will be 5/9 altogether. Then we will be passing the turn to Katara. We'll draw into a forest. I think we're going to play the forest. I think we're going to tap a blue and a white. And we're going to bring in the Waterbender Ascension. So whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, we're going to put a quest counter on it. We're going to attack with Katara, and we're going to attack Leonardo, because he's wide open. Yeah, and Leonardo's going to take 7. Then we're going to tap 6 lands. We'll also put 2 quest counters on Waterbender Ascension because an opponent was damaged. And we're going to tap 6 lands, a blue, white, green being one of the colors, to cast Aang and Katara. So when Aang and Katara enter or attack, we're going to create X/1/1 white ally creature tokens, where X is the number of tapped artifacts or creatures we control. That ability is going to trigger again because of Katara the Fearless. So we will get 2 more allies. Then we're going to go to our end step. And Bending Prodigy will go off. And we will put a +1 counter on her. But because of the Fearless, we'll put 2 +1 counters on her. We will be passing the turn to Cloud, who will draw into Baron Airship Kingdom. We're going to play the Baron Airship Kingdom tapped. We are going to tap 6 of our lands. And we're going to play Summon Primal Odin. So when he comes into play, we're going to destroy target creature and opponent controls. And we're going to target Aang and Katara. Aang and Katara didn't hold back any mana, unfortunately, so loses Aang and Katara. So let's go to combat. Kamari will put a +1 counter on him. I think he's going to tap Raphael Tough Turtle, and it'll become a copy of Raphael Tough Turtle. So whenever another creature you control enters, he deals 1 damage to target opponent. So we can... Now, that was a black spell, so Ardbert says when you cast a black spell from the Primal Odin, put a +1/+1 counter on each legendary creature you control, and they gain menace till end of turn. I think we will tap all 4 of our warriors there. We will be attacking Leonardo with all of them. That's going to kill Leonardo. He only has 5 life. But each of those... Oh, no. That's a bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Okay. So we're going to attack Leonardo with Cloud. And the other 3 will go at Katara. Yeah, that's what we'll do. The other 3 will go at Katara. Cloud will go at Leonardo. So Cloud will take out Leonardo. They all have menace, so we'd need 2 creatures to block. Also, a 1/1 white warrior creature token will be tapped and attacking for each warrior, and there's 4 of them. So 4 will appear on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. What is it? Katara. And when they enter, Kamari as Raphael Tough Turtle will trigger and deal 1 damage to target opponent for each creature that enters. That'll be 4 of them. That'll do 4 damage to Katara and Aang. And we can use our 2 allies to block. Well, let me get the dice out here. So I don't have a token card, so the warriors are over there. They're all tapped. Even without them, though, I only have 4 blockers. They all have menace. So if I block the 2 strongest, which would be Waka and Kamari, Ardbird will still get through it for 7 damage. And then we have the 4 warrior, 1/1 warriors after that. That'll do another 4. So it looks like they've taken out Aang and Katara as well. Well, it looks like Cloud got this one in. Yeah, without his little combo piece or anything else. Good job, Cloud. So, well, that was an okay practice. Katara and Aang almost started to get to do what they wanted to do, but we weren't really getting the creatures this turn around, so maybe next time. And the Leonardo and Raph deck there, I just kind of built that one recently, so I'm still playing around with it. We'll see. There's a lot of turtles in that deck, but I don't know. We'll see what changes I might make, what I might not. But thanks for joining me, and see you next time.